After nearly 2 weeks of deadly conflict, Iran and Israel have officially agreed to a ceasefire. The breakthrough came on June 23, 2025, after intense diplomatic efforts led by the United States and Qatar. The ceasefire went into effect in the early hours of June 24. According to Reuters, U.S. President Donald Trump spoke directly with the Qatari Prime Minister, who then contacted Tehran. Following the call, Iran's Supreme National Security Council announced it would halt military operations, but only if Israel did the same by 4 a.m. Tehran time. Hours later, Israel confirmed its commitment under the same condition. The truce followed 12 days of escalating violence, which included airstrikes, drone attacks, missile barrages, and cyber warfare. Civilian areas were hit in both countries, prompting widespread international concern and fears of a full-scale regional war. Initial hours of the ceasefire saw minor violations, with missile launches from Iran and retaliatory Israeli airstrikes, reported by The Washington Post and Reuters. However, the situation was quickly de-escalated. President Trump personally intervened, warning both governments of the potential consequences if the truce collapsed. As of June 25, the ceasefire is holding. No major military actions have been reported since the initial incidents. While the situation remains tense, the pause in hostilities has provided a window for diplomatic efforts to expand. Diplomatic sources told The Washington Post that U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff has held promising back-channel talks with Iranian officials. These talks are focused on preventing further escalation and possibly creating a pathway to longer-term peace, including limits on missile deployment and the revival of some form of nuclear negotiations. Public reaction in both nations has been mixed. In Iran, Reuters reports that many citizens welcomed the ceasefire but remain fearful of what might come next. People are relieved, but there is deep mistrust toward Israel and concerns that the ceasefire may only be temporary. In Israel, the population is similarly cautious. Some political figures, particularly from right-wing parties, have criticized the decision to agree to a truce, arguing that Iran's threat is far from neutralized. Others see the ceasefire as a necessary step to prevent a larger conflict. Meanwhile, the international community has largely praised the agreement. The United Nations, European Union, Russia, China, and Turkey have all issued statements urging both countries to stay committed to peace and avoid provocations. However, analysts warn that this is not a peace agreement, it is a temporary ceasefire. Both militaries remain on high alert, and trust between the two governments is extremely low. Any provocation, intentional or accidental, could reignite hostilities. In summary, Iran and Israel have agreed to a conditional ceasefire, effective from June 24, 2025. The deal was brokered by the U.S., with critical mediation from Qatar. Reuters and The Washington Post confirm the terms and sequence of the agreement. The ceasefire is currently holding, despite early violations. Diplomatic efforts are ongoing, with cautious optimism for de-escalation. Public sentiment in both countries is nervous and divided. The situation remains fragile, and international pressure continues for both sides to show restraint. This ceasefire marks a significant, but delicate, moment in Middle East diplomacy. Whether it holds or collapses will depend on what happens in the next few days. Sources: Reuters, The Washington Post.